Hi, I'm Scotty Cooper. You're tuning in to Magic Moment. Today's story, I share a traumatizing moment that led to me finding purpose. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'll share with you a secret on how to turn your pain into a driving force that leads to purpose and fulfillment. So this story, I had this crazy bike accident when I was in 8th grade. I was with my friends and we're going down this hill on my bike. I put a helmet on because I'm a responsible kid. And I'm going down the hill and I feel like I'm starting to get speed wobble. And I kind of go over to the other lane a little bit that's coming up the hill. And I see a car like way down there. So I was kind of afraid and I started to go back into the lane I was in and the speed wobble started getting worse. So for people that don't know what that is, basically the back tire was kind of going back and forth like this and it was really scary. And so I kind of felt like, okay, I'm gonna flip over the handlebars. And it was, like I said, really scary. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm going down. And I see this little grass patch. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna aim for the grass. And so like, I feel like I'm about to go and I almost hit the grass and instead I hit gravel. And it was really bad. I blacked out for 3 hours. It was a really scary moment. Like the whole right side of my face was all torn up from the gravel. I had like scars all over my, well, no longer, but I had a lot of like marks all over my hands and arms and stuff. The part of the story I've never shared, because I've shared this with a lot of people, but the part I've never talked about a lot is what happened while I was unconscious. So while I was knocked out, I don't physically remember anything from my point of view until I was in the MRI machine. That's where I woke up, but I had like this experience while I was unconscious. And it sounds crazy, but it's what happened, so I'm gonna share it. I was sitting above where I was, like maybe 100 feet up, and I could kind of see what was happening, but really what I could see was the view of the hill. And I was like sitting above, almost like on the top of like a tree. There was a person sitting next to me, and it was the most comforting feeling I've ever felt in my life. And this person said to me, I said, like, I'm so scared, like, what's going on? Like, I'm so afraid. And he's like, don't be afraid. Like, you'll be okay. I said, well, how do you know? Like, how am I gonna be okay? He said, you're being called to do much greater things in your life. This isn't the end for you. You'll be fine. And I said, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, trust me, like, everything will be okay. And I tried to look at the person. It was so bright, I couldn't see a face, but I just knew it was the most comforting person I'd ever talked to in my life. From that moment on, I really took my faith seriously. And I knew that that was a spiritual experience, that I knew in my heart that I'm called to do more. That those little moments like that aren't gonna be the thing that, like, that's not my end of my story. And for a long time, I kind of forgot about that moment. And from other people's perspective, you could see that that was like, could have been the worst day of my life. And for a lot of years it was, because I had all these things on my face. I had to wear a hat at school because I couldn't get sun on my face. I was told that I was gonna need to have a skin graft from my butt and put it on my face. So imagine an eighth grade kid, you're hearing like, you go to a burn center and they say, oh, you're gonna have your butt on your face. I'm like, great. So like, that was horrible. But my parents were like, let's find another option. And they found kind of the natural approach, and we became part of our protocol for different things we do in the office now, because we figured out how to fix my face and how to fix my brain after this accident. But I think the biggest thing for me was looking for the part of the story that became motivation and also a reminder that you're alive and you're born to do something more than this. So I think for people that are going through anything similar, try to look for that. Look for the thing that's going to help propel you later. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a driving force your whole life. It could just be something that kind of kickstarts you, and then you can switch to a different type of fuel. But I think that for me, it really ingrained into me kind of that faith aspect of my life and to take that seriously. And that's something I've really focused on and I really nurtured since then, because I was told like I'm destined for much greater. So I affirm that and I know that. Thank you for watching this magic moment. Stay tuned for the next video where I used affirmations to make me a better player in sports and in life. Thanks for watching.